1 year ago, Thomas Crooks opened fire during a Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump was shot in the ear, and sadly, firefighter Corey Comparator was killed. This network, including the Big Weekend Show, was covering the rally live when the shots were fired.
Take a look at what happened.
We are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump was speaking on the stage. There has been some kind of disturbance that clearly sets law enforcement and Secret Service into motion.
Been confused on what's even going on. We heard several gunshots and we saw some smoke in the front.
It sounded like multiple shots fired. It appeared that there was some injury to President Trump.
You could hear him yell to the few of the Secret Service members saying, "Let me get my shoes." I mean, he wanted to walk away.
There he is leading us like it's okay. You know what I mean?
What did you exactly see and how much blood did you see?
Not a lot. I mean, it's kind of like where maybe you cut your head.
Perhaps the most defining moment of this presidential election year, when the president stood up and pumped his hand, blood coming from his ear and his fist. The guy's a fighter. You could say a lot about Donald Trump, but he is.
Crooks was on a rooftop near the Butler Fairgrounds. And on the Fox Nation special, Butler Under Fire, the local sheriff revealed the actions that took place before the shots rang out.
Crooks was spotted on the westernmost window facing south. The Beaver County sniper asked me to come speak with him, and when I went over there, he'd showed me he'd taken 2 photographs of Crooks.
We don't know much about Crooks, but we do know that he was highly intelligent, earning a top score on his SAT. But he also faced mental health problems and addiction. In high school, he wrote an essay criticizing presidential campaigns, and he researched information regarding the details and locations of both the RNC and DNC conventions. We have complete coverage of this anniversary with Congressman Pat Fallon, member of the task force on the attempted assassination of Trump. But first, we go to Alexis McAdams, who was live on the ground at the Butler rally last year. You know, Alexis, this has got to be hard for you. You were there last year. What's this like for you to be there again and to be reporting on this 1 year later?
Kylie, so yeah, I think when it hits you is not just standing here, you know, in front of the field where it all happened behind me, but also when you hear President Trump speaking that day as he goes through the immigration numbers and as he turned his head and history changed. You can hear that pop, 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 which I really thought at the time when I was up on that stage reporting pretty much close to the president where he was speaking, that someone threw those poppers, you know, like people do for the 4th of July, right on the ground. But we quickly found out that it was Thomas Crooks who had fired 8 rounds. The snipers then took him out, but still so many questions remain.
Take a look at what happened.
He had fallen to the ground. They were trying to do everything they could to make sure that he was okay. He walked off the stage, and before he left, he pumped his fist into that crowd, and everybody started cheering, "Make America Great Again." Yeah, and it was really quiet that day as people tried to figure out what happened. And still a year later, if you can believe it, a new Government Accountability Office report is just shining a light on what happened with major Secret Service failures, finding that the agency knew Trump's life was in danger 10 days before he walked out onto the stage in Butler. But the Secret Service never told their own teams who were on the ground. Those were the people that should have known. Also, another new Senate report that we just got to look at early this morning as it's all kind of coming out on the weekend here says that the Trump campaign, Lisa, asked several times to have more security. Why? Because there were constant threats against the president at that time, but they were denied that by the Secret Service. The family of Corey Comparator, who was killed that day, is still demanding accountability. They hope that these new Senate reports will shine a light on exactly what happened. The Secret Service knew that President Trump's life was in danger for 10 days, but didn't tell the agents that were on the ground. What do you think about that report?
Completely disgusted. I mean, that disgusted me. How in the heck can you not disclose something like as big as that, where you're going to have thousands of people there, and not say that there is a threat? I am just completely baffled.
So to top it all off, if you can believe this, the Secret Service didn't have their drone up that day in the sky right here above Butler. You can see it there on your screen. It really lays everything out. That's the roof where Thomas Crooks was, pretty close there. That's the AGR building, which is on the farm grounds here in Butler. Why didn't they have it up? Because the drone operator said it was broken, and the drone operator had 1 hour of experience. I said 1 hour of experience flying that. Our Fox News drone team is up right now. Patrick had to do at least 20 in order to get allowed to do it for the network. So that kind of puts into context how undertrained, understaffed, and the lack of communication that happened here. And that's why Corey Comparator's family says, where are the answers? We want accountability, and we think somebody should have at least been fired from the Secret Service.
Yeah, so many questions, and we've got some questions for you as well, Alexis. Alicia, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, you bet. Hi, Alexis. It's Alicia Cunha. One of the questions that I think a lot of people are wondering about is the Secret Service agent who was supposed to secure the rally site that day. What more do we know about this person?
Well, the Secret Service agent who was out here looking at that fairgrounds and farm grounds to kind of lay it all out and come up with a security plan, that was her first time doing that. So she came out here, tried to look at what rooftops to cover. She was supposed to go to the neighbors' houses. She was supposed to talk to local law enforcement. But according to this new government accountability report, she didn't do any of that. She said she didn't really have the training to. So that's pretty shocking to the people here in Butler County.
Griff?
Hey, Alexis, it's Griff here. I just want to take a moment to commend you for your reporting, not just from that day a year ago, but returning a year later. Your sit down with Helen Comparator has really driven the questions that remain unanswered. I know that President Trump saw your interview with her. It prompted him to call her. So my question is, as you've worked with the family a year later, what questions remain for them, and what do they want?
Well, thank you for your kind words on that. Helen, was nice enough to share her story with Fox. And she said yesterday when we talked with her again that it really kind of cracked this thing open. Kind of thought when I came back to Butler, Griff, a year later, we were going to do a story about, 1 year reflecting, honoring Corey, which we have. But I didn't expect all these Senate reports to come out. She didn't expect to get a call from the director of the Secret Service. So it shows you when you call for accountability publicly, sometimes you get some of those answers. But the family still wants to know what's going to happen next, okay? They did a motorcycle ride over the weekend. They had to say goodbye to a father, a friend of so many people, and also a husband. But are they going to fire those Secret Service agents? They believe that suspending somebody, 6 agents for just a matter of days, about a month or more was kind of the tops. What does that do? Doesn't bring Corey Comparator back. So they hope there's going to be accountability. She's hoping to talk with Sean Curran, the director of the Secret Service. So we'll see what happens.
Alexis, great job out there. We appreciate your reporting. Really great work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.